Science shows this. The quicker you fall in love, the more likely your story ends in heartbreak. But it's not your fault. We're all programmed by our attachment style. John Bowlby mapped attachment on a graph with two axes, avoidance and anxiety. While anxiety measures how much you worry about love, avoidance measures how much you pull away from it. The dream destination is the secure attachment. Until you reach it, every love story risks running in circles. Number 1. Anxious attachment. This type has low avoidance, but very high anxiety, and is caused by our relationship with our parents. Yet it sounds familiar and most YouTubers talk about this, but bear with me. Our parents dictate the people we're attracted to. Literally. In an experiment, people were shown photos of strangers and were asked to rate how attractive they were. At first, the ratings were pretty normal. Then the photos were modified. For men, these strangers were changed to resemble their mothers, while for women, these strangers were changed to resemble their fathers. The ratings skyrocketed. It is disturbing. But this phenomenon is called the Oedipus complex. We nudge towards partners who remind us of our parents. Yet the attraction isn't the end of the story, it's only the spark. Dorothy Tenoff called the next stage limerence, an obsessive state where one look or one conversation can be replayed for hours in our heads, each gesture dissected for signs of affection or rejection. Because of this, we become too needy, clingy, and eventually lose her interest. But then we have Don Juan, a naive man hunting for his mother's love in every woman he meets. He should have been the ultimate romantic disaster, a true hopeless romantic. But he turned out to be one of the biggest seducers of all time. 200 years later, Carl Jung proved that his emotional instability itself turned out to be his biggest advantage. Here's how. Don Juan swapped performance for curiosity. He didn't overthink whether the woman liked him or not. He was genuinely interested. So he asked questions that were meant to spark emotional engagement and avoid dry conversations. What's a smell that instantly takes you back to childhood? What's a lie you told yourself for a long time? But even though beautiful, over time the romance would have become exhausting. And Don Juan knew that. That's why he always used calculated distance. Before he became too clingy, he pulled back. This made women crave him even more. So lean in with genuine curiosity to stop every drop of possible overthinking, and then pull back before you become too suffocating. Number 2, avoidant attachment. Avoidants have low anxiety and high avoidance. You dream of being close to someone, but the moment it happens, you pull back. Take JFK for example. He had a distant relationship with his parents, so he always had the tendency of keeping an emotional distance. Again, he should have been a romantic disaster, but he had a trick. He used lines that sound deeply personal, but could apply to almost anyone. The Barnum effect. You know, most people hide their true feelings out of fear, but when they express them, they feel more free than ever before. Did you catch what happened? Express them, feel more free than ever before. With this trick, you send subconscious messages that make the other person more likely to open up. This tends to work more effectively on women, as men generally pay less attention to their emotions than women do. But here's the catch. Tricks like these build attraction fast, yet often keep relationships shallow. JFK's countless affairs are living proof of that. To escape this trap, you also need to get more emotionally intimate. Enter controlled vulnerability. Share one small, genuine detail about yourself, then pivot to a meaningful question about her. For example, I don't really cry when I'm sad, but when I'm emotional, I may drop a tear. When was the last time you cried? That way you stay in control, but you invite real intimacy. And when you do that, the whole dynamic flips. She begins to chase you. But this is where it gets trickier. There's one attachment that combines the worst of both worlds. Number 3, fearful attachment. It's generally an amazing thing to be emotionally intelligent, right? But according to the Dunning-Kruger effect, the higher the emotional intelligence, the more often you will underestimate your abilities, especially when it comes to relationships. So you'll become more anxious and more avoidant. How can you overcome this deep psychological fear? Well, John Keats, an English poet, is the best example. He was creative, but broke. Romantic, but weird. Emotionally intelligent, but just 5'1". In some letters, the poor guy even deemed himself as being unworthy of women, so he kinda gave up. But this move had an unexpected twist. In the following years, he became friends with many women in high literary circles. Even though indirectly, the time he spent with them made him more comfortable among women in general. So when that girl, Fanny Braun, came into his life, he was confident enough to express his feelings and made her his girlfriend. He died 3 years later, but he still got laid. This trick is called compartmentalization. Talk to women more often, not to get attraction, but to get more comfortable around them, until the right one comes. Now imagine that she actually comes into your life, but you don't know how to shift smoothly from casual to intimate. That's where this escalation technique comes in. To build comfort, start with small, non-intrusive touches like a brief tap on the arm or a playful high five. Then you can level up. After a high five, you can hold onto her hand for a little while. And once there's lots of trust, you can add some spice and try hugging her or taking her arm like this. Maybe even a kiss. But there's a method to win as a hopeless romantic that I didn't mention yet, regardless of where you land on the graph. The book Attached by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller explains how you can break out of your attachment and become secure by choosing a partner with a secure attachment. But for that, you need a girlfriend. Wouldn't it be wonderful if someone made a video exactly like that?